I look forward to it.
Thank you.
Our friendly competitors.
Carolyn.
Bruce, or shall I call you Mr. CEO?
Oh, stop it. We've got to get together sometime to reminisce about the good old days.
Glad to see you've acquired a sense of humor.
And the Iron Lady is still as feisty as ever. Come, the chairman is waiting in the boardroom. Mr. Chairman, this is Carolyn Tan and her team from DBS.
How do you do, Chairman Fu?
I've heard very good things about you, Carolyn. Take a seat. Let me get right to it. As you know, S&P is currently one of the dominant players in the touchscreen industry. But with demand for smart devices dramatically increasing, I've tasked Bruce to shepherd a further expansion.
A key component of our strategy is the acquisition of K-Tech and their state-of-the-art facilities that will allow us to increase our production capacity. We are looking for a financing package to fund the acquisition.
What's the size of the package you're looking for?
500 million US.
We expect to receive an initial term sheet of your offer in the next few days, and we'd like the banks to present their proposals to the board for a vote in a week's time. Any questions?
Have you thought about sitting this one out?
Why would I do that?
Well, I know that you and Bruce used to be colleagues before you joined DBS, and that you guys didn't exactly see eye to eye.
What does that have to do with it?
It's got everything to do with it. He practically engineered your exit.
You know damn well I'm the best person for this case, Chester. I can assure you I will not let my issues with Bruce affect my judgment.
Well, how can you be sure that he won't? Listen, Carolyn, I know that you have strong feelings about this, which is why I have to remind you that it's not just your personal reputation at stake here.
I am fully aware of the challenges. You know I wouldn't insist on it if I didn't think I was up to the task.
What do you need?
All the help I can get. And most of all, I need an industry expert to help us through this.
I've just the person in mind. Right, everyone, I want to introduce you to a new team member, Hendra Susanto. Now, Hendra used to work in the financing arm of a global tech company before he joined DBS. His expertise and industry insights are going to be invaluable to us on this case.
I look forward to working with you all.
Now, we've already discussed it with our exco, and we have the green light to pursue the deal. The teams from Strategic Advisory, Legal and Compliance, and Group Credit are all at the standby awaiting our lead. Do not underestimate this. This is a complex deal. Let's get cracking. Jasper, get legal's recommendations and get back to me with your analysis. Ria, I need you to explore the financing options with credit. Claire, Hendra, walk me through your initial proposal.
Have we studied past industry trends? Will the market conditions hold? What else do we need to think about?
Have you explored all the angles? What about loan syndication? Is that something we can try?
I'm going to discuss it.
There are still a couple of issues to work through, but in a nutshell, this is how we intend to nail the deal.
Good thinking, guys. As you try to button down the remaining issues, make sure you coordinate with our team on the ground in China.
Will do.
Let's go do this.
Hey, do you want to grab a coffee?
I have so much to do. You go ahead first, okay?
Yeah, I'll see you in a bit.
Milk and 1 sugar, right?
Thank you.
You all right?
Yeah, I'm a bit tired.
That's an understatement.
You know, I never got to ask you. What got you into tech financing?
Oh, wow. I guess I have my dad to thank for that. He runs this small trading business, but what's more interesting is he's like this super computer geek. I guess his geekiness rubbed off on me. I mean, I was writing computer programs by the time I was like, what, 13, 12? And I even developed the software to automate some processes and improve his profit margins. And yeah, eventually a big tech company took notice, and that's how I got into this.
Your dad must be so proud.
I'd like to think so, but he thinks the program I wrote has too many bugs in it. What about you? What's your story?
My story is not nearly as interesting as yours.
It's your lucky day. I love boring stories.
Like, it's just, it doesn't really make sense.
Try a little bit.
It's not good at all. It's really is.
I've looked through your initial term sheet, and I have to say I'm impressed at how quickly you've managed to put this together. But there is a problem.
What problem?
The problem is another suitor for K-Tech has just come into the picture, and we'll have to act fast.
What time frame are we talking about here?
1 week at the most.
But it's next to impossible to put together a full financial plan in a week.
I understand your concerns, and that is why I suggest we use K-Tech's assets to fund the acquisition. Looks like you've got your work cut out for you this evening. I'll see you tomorrow.
If a buyer is using the resources of the target to acquire the target, it may constitute as financial assistance. And the only way we can resolve this is if we obtain a whitewash resolution.
Problem is, there's no time.
What are the ramifications if we don't?
There's a chance S&P will be forced to unwind the deal.
It'll be utter chaos.
Claire, what's your opinion?
S&P will be taking on excessive risk if they rush through the deal. And quite frankly, so will we.
Carolyn, can I have a word with you outside, please?
Chester, I know what you're going to
Carolyn,
say.
you said you were not going to let your personal feelings get in the way.
You know,
That's
we
exactly
can
what
fix
is
this.
happening.
We can fix
You've
this.
painted yourself into a corner. You're landing the whole team in it. Have you thought about them?
Thank you, everyone. Go home and get some rest. There's nothing more we can do. I can assure you I will not let my issues with Bruce affect my judgment.
We're not leaving.
We have 8 hours left to find an alternative solution. Let's get it done.
And what's the verdict from legal? Okay, thanks.
So are we going to see your proposal, or are we just going to exchange vacant glances for the next hour?
We're not presenting our proposal. Ladies and gentlemen of the board, last night we were informed by your CEO that you wish to speed up the acquisition. But according to our analysis, SMP will be taking on excessive risks if it pursues the acquisition in such a tight time frame. Without a whitewash resolution, the deal has a high chance of unraveling with serious consequences.
Losing out on K-Tech will be detrimental to our market position. Time is of the essence.
Even at the risk of jeopardizing the entire company.
The potential rewards far outweigh the risks. Besides, there are other banks we can consider. Mr. Chairman, I was hired by the board specifically to helm the expansion. If the board unwisely chooses to postpone matters, I will have no choice but to step down as CEO. That is my bottom line.
Both my team and I have given our all to prepare for this presentation. I'd be lying if I said I didn't want to clinch this deal. But we cannot recommend you go through with it because the risks are simply unwarranted. And if you still decide to push forward, we will have no choice but to remove ourselves from consideration. That is our bottom line.
Mr. Cunningham, thank you for your time. As always, fantastic work. The board were impressed by your presentation.
Thank you. Always a pleasure.
Thank you. Carolyn and Team DBS, I want to thank you for all your time and efforts. We have decided not to rush into the acquisition. And more importantly, we still want DBS to continue working with us on it. We could sure use someone like you at S&P.
Thank you for your kind words, Mr. Chairman. But I think I'm right where I want to be.
SMP soon obtained the whitewash resolution, and the acquisition was eventually completed. And there was no doubt in my mind the grit and integrity Carolyn showed in that boardroom was what ultimately clinched us the deal.
How long have you been with DBS, Claire?
It's been 5 years, and it will be 6 in December.
Well, I just want to let you know that all the good work you've done these past 5 years hasn't gone unnoticed. We've been asked to recommend someone for a key position in Jakarta. Both Chester and I can't think of a better candidate than you. This is a great opportunity, Claire. Indonesia is a really important market for DBS, and you'll be able to make an impact. It will require you to relocate. And I understand you need time to consider, but I do need an answer soon. Go speak to Hendra. He knows the Jakarta office well.
Okay. Carolyn, do you have any advice for me?
From a career standpoint, this truly is a great opportunity for you to expand your horizons. But at the end of the day, you'll just have to follow your heart.
Claire.
But never mind.